Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to Technically Climb to Master. So we're on the main account. Obviously nowadays that's King Pleb, EUS Diamond, and I just uploaded 2 previous games the last couple days, and this was in the same play session as the Annie game where we turned that game around, got a Pentakill, and then we played Viger, got incredibly fed and carried the game. Then there was this game. So you'll be able to tell why is this a replay episode, not a live commentary, because, full disclosure, I stopped recording during this game, and I do that as, like, a tactic sometimes to recenter myself, because when games go pretty bad, the last thing you want to think about is, this is a YouTube video, oh god. So you stop the recording and you just focus on playing the game, because in the end of the day, the thing that should come first is the game that you're in, the ranked game you're in. So this game we're playing Nocturne top. We're against a Kale. So in the early game, you know, including myself, I would definitely give the advantage to a Nocturne. Nocturne is climbing in popularity when it comes to top lane. We have watched one of the best top laners in the world play Nocturne recently. Like, Nocturne is a legit top lane pick nowadays. It's kind of weird. Like, there's Riot that are introducing picks to the jungle. Some of these junglers are now coming to top. But Kale has always been known throughout the history of League of Legends as a late game hyper scaling carry champion, which she still is to this day. The problem is 2 things. One, she can get away with early game a bit more nowadays because of one thing. PTA, so press the attack, is the rune that this Kale's using. That gives a lot more early strength than she ever used to have. Secondly, Season 11. So the Season 11 effect, we have many names for what the hell this season has happened and all the mess that Season 11 has been with the new items. But a big common thing that people have said is there isn't really an early game anymore. Like, the feeling of early game is so shrunken compared to what it used to be. The early game used to last, you know, the first 15 minutes of the game. Well, now, when someone gets their mythic at 8-9 minutes into the game, it doesn't even feel like it's early game anymore, because the strength that these items give make these champions so now strong. So champions like Kale, or, you know, even the Viger game, I was doing a lot of damage early into that game. There is an argument of there's just no point playing early game champions anymore because of how quick late game comes around. But this game, I would just say, is an absolute doozy. I didn't play my best this game, but this game is the power of, I always say the phrase PMA, positive mental attitude, and that doesn't mean that you can't be annoyed or salty. During this game on stream, I was definitely annoyed/salty, for sure. But the one thing that I'll always do is keep trying to win the game. So anyway, I'm fighting the Kale. I spell shield nicely her Q, and I nearly get the kill. So very close, nearly get the kill, and I'm like, hell, let's go. Again, I'm supposed to win the early game. I missed the Q, unfortunately. And what I do a mistake here, I flash. That didn't kill her. So in my head, I will say, I am so shocked that she didn't die there. And then the follow-up, that was a bit of an odd Q, flash Q also by Morgana. But that was definitely on me. Yes, I am very surprised that that just didn't kill the Kale. Like, I don't understand how she didn't die there. I teleport to mid lane, by the way, and I don't know what happened, but Varus ended up with a double kill. He killed both Yasuo and Ivan in that one play. So I was teleporting to mid just to help him because I didn't think he was going to kill Ivan, but lo and behold, he kills Ivan. So I will say this game, it's not going to be the craziest, or there's going to be a theme in the first while of the game. You can see the Jinx in bot lane is now already 0-2. I'm going to go for the kill again, and yes, I'm going to go for another kind of dive, and this time I do get the kill, and I survive. So that's good. That's kind of what I wanted to do the first time. And then double kill in bot lane. So there are a couple things worth mentioning. So the Jinx in this game had a bit of an odd playstyle. I believe she was lagging. So if you saw at the beginning, when we were kind of doing the intro, she disconnected. She disconnected from the game, and she had a very kind of odd playstyle. Maybe in lane she was lagging. You can see, obviously, she's now already 0-2 and all that. So she may have been lagging. So she had a very, I'm going to stay bot lane, I'm going to free farm, I'm going to get to late game kind of playstyle, because obviously the early game hasn't gone that well. Kale, by the way, however, is level 5. So nearing that level 6 mark. Getting that nearly spell shield fear off. But yeah, she's bought no sustain at this point. Nearly getting her again. I wanted that one auto attack would have made the difference potentially there. But I'm wanting that level 6. You can see the XP bar is down here, by the way. That is the XP bar. So I just want to get level 6, and then I should be able to ult on top of her for basically free. And any moment it should happen. there, and bam. So get my second kill in the 1v1. I do get executed, but that is perfectly fine with me. So yeah, the first death was a big shame that unfortunately I did end up, you know, dead when I should have got the kill. Yasuo in our territory is going quite aggressive on the Lulu. She's getting spell shielded and Lulu shielded, will survive. And this is where things get a little bit like, she must be lagging. So watch this. So she walks into them, misses the W completely. It's like, again, she was lagging, so she preempted it, then flashes away. So that to me, I was just like, oh, okay, that wasn't great. Thresh flashes, and I think the enemy team may end up mainly surviving this. I don't remember. That gets stopped by a wind wall that I think we can't see because of replay bug, but we'll keep watching because I'm in top lane, not really doing anything yet. Bind hits, Thresh hits his hook, and Varus will get a kill, and then that will be that. Morgana out of mana is on the back foot also. Jinx, I don't know what happened to Jinx. She's only level 3, by the way, compared to level 5 Ashe. So as you can see, a bit of a fiesta. Now this is where things go weird. So I will say, I'm Nocturne. I've killed Kayle twice in the 1v1 very solidly. She did kill me, but that's when I dove her. Like, she didn't have any pressure. She's now hit level 6. So even level 6 Kayle, in my mind, it should be still pretty weak, and I should mainly be able to fight a Kayle level 6. So you'll see the fight. Oh, it's going all right for you, Huz. Yeah, never mind. So she's ulting, and I'm dead. So already, a Kayle can now kill me in a 1v1. And this is where I'm a bit like, really? And obviously, maybe I could have played that just better in general and should have waited for ultimate. Like, there's obviously variables in there. But this is where I would say sometimes, as a older League of Legends player that's been around for a million of years, I've played the game since the beginning, I am sometimes very set in my ways, and I know I am. You know, it's kind of like the grumpy man mentality of League of Legends. And in my mind, Kayle is very weak early game, right? And like, anything can beat Kayle in the early game. She's easy to kill. She should be a free kill, easy peasy. She hits level 6, and now she can just completely 1v1 me. And in my mind, I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. So that's the point. But again, I've said many a time that you can be salty, you can be whatevers, but PMA, the one thing I will always give myself, I'll keep trying to win a game. So like, I can get a little bit tilted. I can be like, what is going on this game? I can get frustrated, as you'll definitely see this game, with what happens. But I will keep trying to win a game, no matter what. So Morgana does go down. I fear him just before. I spell shield the thingy, and you might be like, Yasuo just went past you, Huz. I was aware. I got the vision orb. I have ultimate, and wah, bam. So I also pick up a shutdown on Nocturne. So that was a nice little recovery there. You know, getting a double kill, helping my team. Kayle, look at that 2 Kayle auto attacks. Like, that's more than you're expecting, at least for me. I need to push this in, though, just to make that reset a little bit. But yeah, let's talk about comps, I guess. So comps, a little bit messy, but that's just also the way of Season 11. I think people don't care as much about good comps nowadays. So we have AP Varus mid, which is a bit odd. That guy, from memory, was also, annoyingly, I started the blue. I shouldn't have started the blue in this situation. I'm going to go for the kill, though. And then I commit to it. Like, Huz, why did you commit to the kill? You maybe got away. I was dead at this point. Yasuo, I said, like, they were pinging. Yasuo's on his way. Kayle was moving. And yeah, Yasuo leaves mid, flashes over the wall. And this guy only has, and I know I only have 36 farm. This guy has 28 farm. This Yasuo does not care about farm at all. Meanwhile, they kill the Thresh in bot lane, and Morgana's going to go for the Ashe. She spell shields preemptively, and then binds, and we'll get that kill. Lulu actually picks it up, and killing spree for Lulu. But yeah, so I committed to that because I knew at that point I may as well just try to go for the Ivan. I committed to invading. And this is where, yeah, a little bit maybe tilted, would say. You know, this game was the 3rd game of the day. It was after the... Well, the Viger game before this went very well. The game before that, obviously the Annie game, that game was just nuts. But I was still in a pretty good mood. But I think I already had the feeling of, I'm against a Kayle that's kind of beating me in the 1v1 already. This is going to be bad. You know, I've always kind of told people the mentality of, I love Renekton, but I would never really play Renekton anymore because the feeling of I'm doing good in the early game, or if you don't do good in the early game as Renekton, then, dude, that must be the most tilting champion to play. Like, you're an early game champ that then gets beaten the early, you don't scale, oh god. Like, to me, that must be crazy. But you can see, I can still scrap the Kayle, which is good. I was wanting, if you're wondering, like, what was I doing there? I was kind of pretending to go all in under tower to try and bait her ultimate. I had every intention of backing away after that. But yeah, she never used her ulti. And she's low, so I am looking at maybe trying to get this kill. I believe she does have ultimate at this point, and she does. So clicking on her does see I've got ult, and that's what I knew. I was like, I have to try and get her ultimate, or I have to like burst her at a weird time, which is going to be tricky. And all the times we've seen Yasuo has roamed this game quite quickly. So as long as I've got vision of Yasuo, which I do right now, I know he's not coming. And I'm expecting, I'm going to hard push because Kayle must have gone back by this point. And I don't think, yep, she did not go back. So she's very ballsy being at this health, I will say. Again, hitting the Q, which is nice. Get the tower plate. Ivan's bot lane. And I go for a bit of a dive. Or, again, a fake dive. And Kayle just attacks me and just straight up kills me. So, like, I went for that fake dive to try and get her ultimate. But she does that much damage already that I'm like, oh. She auto-attacked me like 3 times and then flash E'd or flash Q'd and I'm dead. So this is what, like, I was literally scratching my brain of going, how is she doing this much damage in the early game? Like, worth knowing, she doesn't even have a complete item, you know, and also Kayle is not a Mythic Rush item. She goes for Nashor's instead, which is obviously very strong. Meanwhile, so one thing to say about this game, you can see I'm teleporting to bot lane right now. They made a tower dive play, so I'm on my way to try and help. I get stopped by Nocturne. I do see the Ashe, though. And I go for the Ashe kill. And then randomly, yep, that's 4 people. That is so close. But that is 4 people around. He dies there. Varus ultimate comes in. The Ivan gets killed by the Jinx rocket. But yeah, 4 people just chilling. Which I was like, eh? Varus going to fight the Yasuo. And they're looking for the Flay into the Yasuo ultimate. Uses double summons as the Varus. And then the Yasuo dies to the tower. And then Thresh might be dead. W misses again from Jinx, but bam, he will pick up the kill. So this is an absolute fiesta of a game. One thing I will say with what I was potentially could have changed with my playstyle this game, obviously the 1v1 with Kayle has been weird. I have killed her several times in the 1v1, but now it already feels like I've been outscaled. I roam a lot or use my ultimate most of the time in this game. I don't use it on the Kayle. And sometimes it's been very close fighting this Kayle, and maybe the ultimate would have been the difference of me killing her or not, but my ultimate's been on cooldown because I used it around the map. So that is where sometimes there's 2 obviously different types of playstyles with like Nocturne or a global champion. Is, am I going to use the 1v1 for myself? And by the way, yeah, she's just straight up diving me because, you know, why wouldn't she, I guess? 12-minute Kayle can just straight up tower dive without her ultimate, by the way. She did not use ultimate. It's not like, oh, you got dove and she used her immune ultimate. Nope, she just auto-attacked me to death and I died. So, very weird. But, again, maybe the ulti would make a big difference of using it for yourself. The playstyle is, do I be selfish and use my ultimate for myself, or do I use my ultimate for global pressure for my team? And this game, I definitely used it more, and you'll see throughout, even, you know, moving forward in this game, I definitely use it more for my team. Which isn't a bad thing, but this game, I would say, it, you know, the 1v1 is not going well. You can definitely tell. So keep watching, by the way, because, you know, there's a reason I'm making this into a video. Because, you know, some people go, oh, Huz, you're spoiling it. Let's be honest, I'm recording this as a video, so there has to be a reason why. So I will say that. But yeah. Alright, so again, just going top lane. I need my first item. Enemy team, again, going very aggressive. That's kind of the theme of this game, is the enemy team played hyper aggressive. And once again, I've got ultimate up, so what do I decide to do? I'm going to roam over. I'm going to go for the Yasuo here. So he does do a nice little survival there, but he should end up dead. Unfortunately for me, Morgana takes the kill, so I really wanted that, but Morgana takes it. But once again, this is where, like, I literally finished doing that play, and especially that I didn't get the kill, I'm like, oh great, I've got to go back to top lane now, and now I don't even have ult. Was that a good idea? Because Kayle is never going to roam, let's be honest, just with Kayle as a champion. This person is just going to permanently split push, so she's going to get ahead on XP with me every single time I roam. She's going to get ahead on farm on me every single time I roam. So this is where that kind of, like, thought process of, I'm roaming, but maybe this game it was biting me in the butt. It's very possible. So Yasuo, by the way, has rushed a QSS. Why has he done that? Well, on our team, we have a Nocturne Fear, we have a Morgana Q, we have a Varus ulti, and we have Lulu Polymorph. There's a lot of things that CC the enemy team. So him rushing a QSS, to me, it is not too surprising. Big play happening in bot lane, by the way. Varus does make his way over, gets hooked by a Thresh hiding in a bush. Really weird barrier. Don't know, and he missed, obviously, the kill as well over there. So I don't know what's going on there. And I don't think Ashe is going to die either. So, yeah. Rocket coming down and will miss, and the Q times out. So both Ashe and Thresh there should have died. Both of them survive. Heading back to top lane, though, where Kayle, again, her playstyle, yes, it's a bit boring, the split push playstyle, but that's what this champion is about most of the time. I go for a bit of an all-in. You can see I can still kind of scrap the champion. I nearly get that kill, but I also nearly die as well. And she's very low. So what I'm hoping here, and unfortunately is not really what we've had this game, I'm dead again, and Yasuo was around anyway. I was hoping for an ally to come, but yeah, we didn't really get much help in top lane this game, but that's just the way of it. And I end up dead from, again, a couple of auto attacks from a Kayle. So Jinx randomly in mid lane, very overextended. Again, she's 1-4 now, 1-5. But for me, again, you guys will know, me being 8 deaths, 15, 60 minutes into the game, this doesn't happen to me. Like, it was kind of odd. I don't, you know, I would like to say I'm not the best League player by all means. I would right now, if I played on this account more and actually climbed more and had the mentality of I want to be really high rating again, I reckon I'm probably about a Diamond 2 player right now. And with a bit of practice, I could probably maybe make it back to D1, maybe Master again. But yeah, I'd probably give myself maybe a D2 if I constantly played on this account. But obviously, I've not been constantly playing on this account. But the one thing I'll give myself is I don't really feed. It's very, very, very rare for me to have a feeding performance. But once again, I'm going to go for a roam. So I'm ulting in, go for the Ashe. She's not dead instantly yet, but she does end up dead now. We're going to then go on the Thresh, who unfortunately kills the Lulu. And this, by the way, is our advantage. So, yes, Kayle is stupidly strong. If Kayle was in these team fights, I think we'd probably just straight up lose. Our advantage is this player has in their mind, I have to split push. So this is where it can backfire. So if she does not get involved for whatever reason, we can then beat the team. You know, straight up that, if you look out of top lane, this game is very close. You know, the Yasuo, yeah, I'm getting dove, by the way. I'm dead again. Lulu nearly flashed to save me. We will eventually kill the Kayle, which is good. Which was a shutdown, I believe. But yeah, again, this champion, as you can clearly see in the 1v1, just dives me. I'm under my base tower, and she's still going to try and dive me. So our advantage is not my 1v1, clearly. Our advantage is team fighting, especially if Kayle is, I'm only going to split push this game. That is what we can do. And that's what I think we kind of try to do this game, as we'll see throughout. I think we're about halfway, maybe just under halfway of this game. So we do have plenty of action to go. And I, so far, will say, and you know, again, slight spoiler, I have not made my recovery yet in this game. So I will say, it is upcoming. I do make a recovery this game. And you might be like, how the hell do you make a recovery in this game? You're 5'9". You've got only 90 CS in 18 minutes. How? Again, keep watching. This is where, again, I don't mind pressing surrender vote. But even if I say yes on a surrender vote, or even if I ask for a surrender, I'll never stop trying to win the game. That's, I think, I hope most people that even if you do surrender games, or you do go LSFF, you know, you type surrender in chat, if it's a no, if the vote is a no, I keep playing. I keep trying to win the game until it's either over or the surrender vote is a yes. But I will keep trying to play and win the game, which is important. Anyway, Varus ended up dead. He got caught, but it was a trade, I believe. They use their Rift Herald in mid lane, and they get that. And Kayle, again, going to stay top lane. Jinx, this is where I said earlier, she just split pushes. She's in bot lane, she's split pushing. Kayle, however, nearly getting caught. Remember, she killed me earlier, but she flashes away, and she's just staying top. That is what she's going to do. Which, it's hard for me to, like, again, it's the mentality, what do I do? That random hook, that unfortunate miss. But it's, do I have to stay top lane to stop Kayle? And let's be honest, I'm not stopping her. She can just kill me in the 1v1 right now. Or it's kind of look for these team things. Kayle goes way too hyper aggro, and we're going to start the fight. So Kayle ultimate, I ultimate. So by the way, just to say, that was really good, if I didn't say so myself. I overcommit for the Kayle, and then I ulti out of back to safety for the Thresh. The fight is continuing, they get the nice bind, and boom. Little team fight there, and once again, yes, Kayle was involved in that fight, but Yasuo wasn't. So what this game kind of turns into, which is kind of funny, is they're their strongest players, Kayle and Yasuo right now, don't want to work with each other. Or they have in their mind, I must split. Because Yasuo is permanently bot lane, or he, from now on, split pushes a lot. And Kayle does the same, and she ends up dead. So Morgana's trying to get the Yash. I think she might. I'm going to go for the Yasuo. I don't know how strong this guy is right now, I will say. So I'm kind of fighting him. We're scrapping him. But then he ults me. And then after ulti, I'm very squishy. I don't know what happened with Varus. I'm not really sure. I think he was making his way over, but just was way too late. But yeah, that was close. That was one QSS used from Yasuo, and that was flash. I wasn't going to die if he didn't flash. And that's a fed Yasuo. But that is Huzzy on double-digit deaths, which, again, I'm a bit ashamed of. I never get double-digit deaths. Don't know why Jinx, by the way, was overextended by herself this far. You know, she was literally here, by the way. Not really sure about that. She ends up dead to the Ivern. So, again, this game is a rough one. Even though the kills are quite close. We are behind in gold. Dragons so far are roughly even. But yeah, but I will still, you know, still keep trying to win the game. You know, that fight with Yasuo, weirdly, actually, it made me realize I'm actually still doing okay damage. I nearly killed that Yasuo. If he didn't flash, I also would have survived. So that's not terrible. And once again, I saw Kayle's top lane. There's nothing I can do to her. She's going to dive and kill me anytime. So I'm like, let's just go in. So I decide, ult him. I try to cause a bit of a ruckus. Unfortunately, there's only 3 of us. So we can't really go for a steal here, unfortunately. Lulu going to flash away, and these two are trying to take on the Kayle, or I don't know what they're doing, they're farming. And yeah, the enemy team have definitely got advantage with this. I'm going to fear him, walk away. And then unfortunately for memory, boom, an Ashe arrow comes in. And I think I do end up dead again. I do. So I'm not really sure what happened with these two. They both were like wave clearing to stop the Kayle. I think maybe only one of them needed to do that. But, oh well. Ivan finding himself maybe in trouble, ends up dead. So a free kill on Ivan is actually pretty huge. That might get away their Baron potential with, oh, the enemy team's dead, let's do Baron. Well, your jungle is dead, so you don't have Smite. Kayle, however, staying in top lane, to be expected. And she is overextending, to be honest. So she gets polymorph, she gets, look at that Varus damage, by the way. That's a lot of Varus damage, and she ends up dead. She does break the tower, though, so you could probably say that was worth it for Kayle. And Baron, they are pinging away. So that's the Yasuo pinging no. So maybe some people were starting it and he's like, no, don't do it. So Lulu's going to go over and check. Yes, they're not doing Baron, but they do have it warded. So yeah, very Fiesta-y game so far. Not a good performance by me, obviously. I will say I did get a little bit tilted, definitely this game, when it come to... I just didn't understand how Kayle was doing so much damage in the early game. Like, in my mind, I was like, that just doesn't make sense. So all I will say, and I did say this in the live commentary, all I hope is I know if you guys aren't aware, we are getting a new head of balance very soon. The current head of balance is stepping down. He's moving over to the MMO. The only thing I hope, and meanwhile, we're going for a play here. I go for the Ashe. So what actually happened there, by the way, is Morgana and Kayle gets the save, unfortunately for me, and I will end up dead again. So that wasn't great. But that started that Morgana and Lulu were here, and they were looking to get a pick on the Ashe. The Ashe flashed away, and then I already committed to going for the Ashe at that point. If I saw her flash, I probably wouldn't have continued going for her. But yeah, when you press R or Nocturne, you can't stop it. So unfortunately for me. But yeah. So the enemy team are now getting Baron. So again, you'd probably think that this game is probably pretty much over. Jinx getting caught. The damage, though, not bad. They get the Ivan. Thresh hook on the Varus. They're going to continue DPS. Kayle, though, coming. Thresh doing a bit of damage with Flash and etc. Can they survive? Can they get away? They are still running. Lulu going to try and make it out, but Yasuo obviously being quite fed. Will just absolutely obliterate her. And oh god, they get Baron. They've now got the momentum. What can we do? Well, we can keep trying, see if we can get... That bind did hit something, but I don't actually know what it hit. I don't know what Varus was doing. Just disrespected the Kayle and just died to the Kayle. And it's like, oh god, this is not going well. Enemy team now going quite aggressive. Kayle, again, she's had a really big thing for diving this game. I will pick up that kill. And there's one kill. Enemy team broken into our base. What can we do? Yasuo pretty low. I'm going to go for him in a second. Ulti, get a double kill. 750 shutdown. Now going to go on the Ashe. Going to go for a triple in a second. We will pick up a triple kill. So ladies and gentlemen, that right now, trust me, for 2 things. 1 for my gold, 2 for my, more importantly, my morale. That has now recovered me my game. That instant triple kill, nice spell shield, Ivan nearby. I see Lulu's coming. I'm like, wait, we can scrap this. So I'm going to turn. I know the enemy team is dead because I just killed them. Lulu ulti. And these two, in theory, don't have much damage, let's be honest. They have CC. So I'm going to continue going. As Lulu's MVP right now, keeping me alive. Going to keep going for the Ivan, and we will get an unofficial quadra kill. Nearly an unofficial penta. If I got that Thresh as well, that would have been an unofficial penta. But that has now, mentally for me, recovered my game. That this game has been a bit tilting. Yes, I've still tried to win, but, you know, it's a bit tilting when you go for players and none of them have worked. For me, especially, that I've died 12 times. That is terrible. But, hey, I just got 4 kills in 1 fight. I can do this. You know, I can do something this game. So we are gonna win this game. Come on, let's try to win. So let's go. Let's try to win the game. So even though, you know, look at this, the kills are even. I'm a third, like I'm a lot of our deaths. So I now feel strong, but I'm a third of our deaths. So that's actually not that bad. Thresh going hyper aggro will end up getting caught. Gonna go for the Q, and he's now out of position. Jinx Rocket coming over the top. He will die. Yasuo once again is split pushing. So that has been, you know, the enemy team. They like this split pushing as a Yasuo or Kayle. And I'm gonna go back. Now the thing that I don't know right now, I still don't think I can beat the Yasuo. But what I need to do is trust my team. I do have teleport. And I've got ulti. So I just have to go back here. Not to stop the Yasuo a lot. So I don't think I can stop him getting the inhibs. So you'll see in a second, I kind of give him these inhibs. Because if I die right now, the game could end. He could literally continue going on to our base and end the game. But what I'm here for, he can't end the game if I'm here. He can't ignore me on the base towers. Yes, he's going to get the inhibs, but he can't ignore me. They will get the Kayle, by the way, for the dragon and 1 kill on the Lulu, so that is worth. But, you know, I'm respecting him. Have the inhibs, my dude. I'm not fighting you. That's fine. So I give up the inhibs, but the game doesn't end. We also get the Infernal Dragon, which is pretty good. And I'm just going to wave clear. Again, farm obviously very low this game. We've had a more global pressure playstyle of ulting away quite a lot, and yes, that probably hurt our lane individually, so that is something to learn maybe in this matchup. You know, we did well in the early game. We got, like, yes, we died in the first thing, which I didn't need to do, but then I got 2 solo kills on her. I think then I started ulting away from top lane. I should have kept my ultimate for top. I think it maybe would have made a difference. So we're going to go for a play. Lovely W hit. Then onto the Jinx. She can't use the Lantern because I'm on top of it and I'm just annoying. We will get 1 kill. We're then going to go for the Thresh. And these little fights here, that makes me unstoppable. And yes, yeah, by the way, Yasuo is top lane alone again. This is what we want. We want these picks. And yes, Yasuo is trying to backdoor, you know, win the game. It's just what the enemy team are doing. I get the Stride Breaker, get the engage on him. Kayle, by the way, teleported bot lane for some reason. And we will go for the finish kill on the Yasuo. He does end up dead. So they're now in bot lane as well. So Kayle and Ivan. Lulu is going to end up dead. Look at that damage. Absolutely nuts. We're going to just wave clear a little bit. See what we can do. They do break open our base. So right now our base is completely cracked open apart from our last 2 towers here. Not looking good, is it? Keep trying, though, because that's all you can do sometimes. And we're just going to wave clear. So the thing that I've always said, if the enemy team breaks open your base and gets inhib and stuff, but they cannot end, it's actually not bad for that team because it's free gold. It's free XP. Obviously, you don't want it to happen. You don't want your base to be broken open because it's more likely you're going to lose the game. But I'm just saying, like, it's not the end of the game if they just get, you know, all of your outer towers. So once again, Kayle split pushing bot lane. And again, got to be careful. I cannot 1v1 this champion right now. All I can do is kind of like farm, maybe bait out her ultimate would be good, but that's about it. And we're just going to stay here. I want level 16. I am closing on that mark. Item-wise, by the way, I haven't really spoken about Stride Breaker, then Sterix, then Titanic. Pretty strong build. I did go for the steel caps because the enemy team is very AD heavy. Yes, Kayle has mixed damage. Here we go. So going to go for the Stride Breaker, going to go for the Fear, going to go for the ultimate, and I flash away, get the Fear, and we get the kill. So that's all I can do. I couldn't have finished that off. Maybe I didn't need to flash away because of the Fear, but I think I still might have died. Thresh also getting caught, ends up dead. So this is what the enemy team is now doing really bad, and they've done it for the last, you know, 5 to 10 minutes. is that they're never grouped together. If the enemy team grouped as 5, this game, I will say, is over. The strength that they have in difference of the Kayle with the Yasuo, maybe we could deal with one of them, but dealing with both of them at the same time, we probably couldn't do it. We're also a very squishy team comp, if you notice. They will probably wreck us in a team fight. They're not team fighting. It's really weird. So either Yasuo is by himself, or Kayle is by herself. So my team now is thinking about doing the Baron. So Thresh and Kayle being dead should give us this Baron. If you notice, I'm not committing to it. So the reason why I'm not committing to it is I don't know where some of the enemy are, and the last thing I want is a backdoor chance. But we do see, I knew Yasuo was nearby because we saw him in a bush. He does go down by Jinx, and now look at Jinx's damage. So this is the difference also between Jinx late game, and also this is a level 18 Jinx, by the way, and arguably an Ashe. So Ashe is only level 14 at this point. Jinx is level 18. You can also see she's at 300 farm. This is the Jinx that was split pushing a lot this game herself, but she has now realized I now need to group. That's what the enemy team hasn't realized. That's what Kayle and Yasuo haven't realized, is both of them can't split push. Meanwhile, I go for the Kayle. She ultimates, Ivan being low health as well. Gonna go for him. Only level 15 Ivan, by the way. So it also feels like he's kind of fallen off. In a minute, Zhonya's, because I was building GA, that catches the Kayle out of bounds, and now I'm going to chase down the Ivan. Spell shield, dodge the hook. Unfortunately, Varus misses his, but I get that kill. Can we chase down the Thresh as well? That makes our KD 11 kills, 12 deaths. We're going to go for the Thresh. I'm not sure I'm going to get him, though. I do spell shield his hook, which is nice. And our inhibs are now respawning, by the way, so we no longer have to think about always super minions. I do get hooked into a Yasuo. I get Lulu ulted, but it's not enough. So that was my bad. I thought, let's be honest, I thought Thresh would have definitely gone back, but he did not. And here we go. Watch this, by the way. This was the perfect Lulu ulti. Literally perfect. Yeah, Varus got knocked up, and Lulu polymorphed him, that he still committed to his positioning, but he completely got owned by the polymorph. He couldn't ult. He literally couldn't ult, which is fantastic by the Lulu. Infernal Dragon now being killed by Morgana. And yeah, we're going to get another Infernal. So that death arguably is fine. Yasuo, you would think, is more value than me right now. So I don't mind dying technically for a Yasuo kill. And we get another Infernal. So absolutely mental game so far. So we're 11, 13, 11. So even though this game has been rough, I have been involved in 22 kills, which isn't bad. And let's be honest, look at the Kayle. Kayle has been involved in 14 kills. I've been involved in 22. So yes, I got owned in lane phase, a little bit tilted by how much damage he did in the early game. Arguably now, though, I am becoming way more useful than Kayle. She is not being that involved. So that is a good point to make. Right, so I am buying GA. I got my BF. I don't have enough money out now. And what I'm thinking here, by the way, is look at these two. And I'm going in. I see an Ashe. I'm going to go for the Ashe. Thresh ends up dead. Double kill. Yasuo now on the back foot. I think we may have saw... Yeah, Kayle is bot lane. Guess what? She's split pushing again. And we're now going to break into the enemy base. So that was a really nice pull the trigger moment by me on Nocturne, if I do say so myself. Because, you know, this hasn't been a great game for me, but I'm still making okay decisions when to go in. Kayle weirdly split pushing at all times. Yasuo going in. He will Zhonya's. Or whatever static. Kayle uses her ulti for the wrong person. We're getting a couple kills. I get another kill myself. And ladies and gentlemen, we win the game. So if this game does show, you can turn games around. This game was nuts. My KD, I was 1 kill away from having a neutral KD. Obviously, that's a positive KDA, kill, deaths, assists. But I always like to have at least a neutral KD on a lane roll. We were 1 kill away from a neutral KD. The Kayle also has a negative KD. So that's one thing to say, is the enemy team, the way I explain this on stream, is we should have lost this game. The enemy team, we won this game, sure. But also, I know this is going to sound weird to people, the enemy team lost this game. They lost a winnable game for them because split pushing. Literally split pushing. If you watch when we made comebacks in this game, the only way we made a comeback is when we somehow got a pick. Oh, sorry about that. A pick, or we outnumbered them. Like, obviously, my triple kill, quadra kill was when they were committing for the inhib, and we managed to turn that around with, like, roughly the even numbers. But by that point, the enemy team were already using their abilities. But every situation apart from that was, oh, Yasuo's top lane, engage. Or Kael's bot lane, engage. It was either the Yasuo or Kael was on the side lane, and we went in. And we won those fights. That's literally how we turned this game around, which is hilarious. So if the enemy team just grouped earlier as 5 people with no split push, they would have won this game. Like, probably fairly easily. But some people in League just have it in their mind. I Yasuo, I split push. I Tryndamere, I split push. I whatever, I split push. It's not always the answer. I've always said I think split pushing on average makes the climb harder. Especially when you're not in the crazy higher echelon ranks of League. Sure, in Master, Challenge, or whatever, those players are amazing. They all understand the game. You understand the game. Split pushing makes sense. But also, when not to split push is very important. And this game would have been a great example of, we don't need a split push. We're really stronger than the enemy team right now. Let's just group. Let's just end the game. They just didn't do that. But there we go. If you guys enjoyed, mental crazy game, throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.